Negotiations are like a marriage. If you're open to the other party as your spouse, you can turn any conflict or negotiation into a lifelong win win, irrespective of its business, political, or a day to day transaction. When we're talking about negotiation, we understand we want to get something to achieve what we want. It's not only in a business life, of course, in business life, negotiations are very important, but also in your personal life, for example. And when we talk about open book negotiations or any kind of negotiation, you can relate to your personal life. You know, when I talk to my suppliers or my customer, I always talk to them in a way like a partner. Yeah? So it's not just simply saying that, yes, you are a third company, but for me, if I'm talking to somebody or negotiating, I'm talking basically to a partner, and I can relate like a marriage. So if I am a married guy, or if I have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend, think about you go to a restaurant in the evening, how do you reach a common agreement which restaurant to go? It's kind of a negotiation. Right? And when we are talking to our partner in private life, we have no intention in our mind to fight, right? Because we want to have a common understanding and have a long-term partnership. So in business as well, if you try to copy this scenario, I think the life is much more easy, right? If we say that we want to achieve an agreement, you're dealing with a supplier, you want to buy 1,000 pieces of this remote, you will definitely negotiate about price. He might not give you the price that you're looking for, but because you're a business partner, you would be very openly talking to him about, hey, let's reach a common agreement. We try to negotiate when we want to get what we want, but it's sometime as well we negotiate to have a win-win situation, not only what we want, but also to have both parties understanding each other and also winning from each other. So the question now comes, if in Germany a taxi driver tells me, sorry, no haggling, so does that mean no negotiation? So would you like to share what would you do in this situation with the taxi driver? Because me, as a person, Piyush, I would not pay to the taxi driver in Germany 60 euros if I want to go from A to B. What would you do?
I would ask for the unit price. Yeah. So how much does 1 kilometer cost? And I would ask for a reference, for example, like public contract or something like that. So I can refer to. In Germany,
so she just mentioned that she can ask for reference or some kind of documentation to at least start talking about negotiation. It's not simply say I give up because I am in Germany and negotiation is not allowed. No, this is not true. You can absolutely negotiate in everywhere on the planet. I even negotiate sometime going to company like electronic market like Saturn in Germany, or I think you have in Ukraine Foxtrot. Yeah? So imagine yourself going to an electronic supermarket and say, yes, I want this, but I'm buying 2 of these pieces, what do I get out of it? It's a good valid question, right? That's how we call negotiation. We are a business people, right? I mean, we know how to negotiate, we understand cultures. So if we know these things, why of course, they have put a cash counter, they have blocked you to do negotiations, but that does not mean if you're buying bigger volume, you should stop negotiating. So often, people try to implement, either you're in business or in private life, you use these 6 scenarios of practices. First one is called pressure. I give an example. I would say that, I'm here until 8 o'clock. If you want to get the deal closed with me, you got 25 minutes, right? I'm putting a pressure on you. It's not something you would say, I would say, yeah, if the deal is not closed, door is there, I will leave because my flight is leaving at 8 o'clock. But in these kind of scenarios, what would happen, you will come to a situation saying that, yes, let me agree to the guy offered, and before he leaves, I don't want that the deal just goes away. And because of even in this pressure, I want to have a deal signed before he leaves. So if you allow me to put first offer on the table, it's kind of dangerous because I can tell you any price. In my life, usually what I do is to start with, to say, here is the book, here is the price, you tell me what you want to pay. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a reference, but that reference at that anchor is very expensive anchor. You can, you want to get the deal done as far as you can say from your side, you can sleep in the night after closing the deal, or you say that, I'm comfortable, it's a win from my side, or at least I'm trying to cover win from other party as well, it's fair. I would not say there is anything bad about it. There is no right. And somehow, even you say that I don't want to lie, but we know ourselves by heart. And this is what I call as being open. If I'm even lying, and when I tell, for example, I'm negotiating with you, I lied to you, and I said, yes, I did that, but there's a reason behind it. What I'm trying to do is build trust with you, because I told you very clearly, and I want to reach an agreement, and I think when you are able to win trust, being open, even if you use any of these techniques, you are using these techniques actually to reach an agreement in the end anyway. My father used to say that, Piyush, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. I did that. Thinking from different perspective, situations are different when we are putting ourselves in the situations where they are. In business, it's very easy to negotiate because somehow the person who you are dealing with is also earning good enough money, they are doing good business, everything is fine. But when you come to negotiations in public sector, or in a situations where there is a war, or in a situations where you have health issues, or in a different situations, you really need to think about putting yourself in. When you are thinking from different perspective, you are able to understand and you're avoiding conflict. In my company, when I talk to my customers or my supplier, we always say, I do not say you are my supplier, I say you're my business partner. So I do not have this category called supplier. I don't want to give them a feeling that I'm talking about a third party. I simply said we are in a business marriage, and our intention is to grow together. Our intention is to develop together. If I am in the end making a profit of $15, I would be very happy to give you at least half of it. And I also expect the same from you. If you are making profit, please be open with me and tell me, hey, dear customer, I saved something. What about if I give you an incentive in the end of the year? We always talk about happy situation, right? Often not very easy. But I have found out when I started using this concept called open book, I had similar questions in my mind. I talked to a supplier saying that, hey, let's be open. I want to know how much profit you're making from my purchases. He said, no, I'm not going to open my books for you. This is not our company policy. I said, okay, fine, let me get started. I will tell you very clearly what alternative offers I have. There are some tools in the market there's a lot of companies, consultancy companies, and also IT tools, something called should cost analysis. So how much this product should cost. It's called should cost analysis or cost breakdown analysis, so that you really understand the money I'm spending, is it really worth it? In that situation, what you can do in your open book negotiation, you can bring that analysis on the table and tell this person, hey, look, this is the reference point we have. And do not take me wrong, I'm not giving you any competitor analysis. This is what I think the analysis comes from the market. In those kind of situation, the other party would be much willing to offer you the right price, because this is a real breakdown what you have got from the market. Let's talk about conflict situation. You're buying a car, you're buying a Porsche, okay? And I'm a Porsche dealer. You come to me to buy a Porsche, I ask you, it's 80,000 euros. You say, I can afford 35,000. I'm being very open book, that's my budget. And I'm also very open book as a dealer, that's the price of the car. So what would you do in that situation? So when you break your deal, not just thinking about prices, but when you put in multiple issues, it's much easier. So when I bought my car, we closed the deal. I was super happy, he was also happy, but he was not super happy. because I asked him so much. Before I was leaving his dealership, I made sure that we will be dealing in future as well, and I will give your reference in my company to my peers who are buying car in future, all my friends. They are, because I really like the way I deal with him. It was very open book. He recommended me all the good things. He agreed with many things, and we are now talking to each other as well very often because our relationship is great. And we also want to have future deals together. Though very often situations happen when we are stuck in a price or when we are dealing in a conflict situation, when we are negotiating something, we are always stuck with single issue. You know why? Because me and the other party is standing in that room and is not able to see the situation from the high level. If you're able to see the situation from the high level, seeing what is happening, why the conflict is happening, or what are the other ideas than the price I can put, this will give you more opportunities to break down the deal in multiple issues and close the deal happily like I did for my car. So in that case, I would recommend separate yourself from the issue. Think about this fireman and think about yourself inside the house. Of course, if you're standing inside that house, you're in a panic situation. But this fireman is not in the house. He's trying to help you to resolve the conflict or an issue, or that in here is fire. If you're able to see yourself as a fireman in a negotiation or in a conflict situation, I think you will definitely win everything you want. So open book negotiation, we talked a lot. There are a couple of benefits why we do that. I know it's very difficult to initiate, to build trust, to build relationship, but there are a couple of advantages. It brings long-term relationship, it brings transparency. You're able to understand things very fast. You know what other parties' expectations are. You're not spending 7-8 meetings in one meeting, maybe in half an hour, you close the deal. You save time for both parties. And in the end, you're also satisfying yourself and you're satisfying your business partner as well.